Well, it's tough for us to get up for some football with everything going on in the world. And yet, here we are. Let's hit that intro. So, Jared, my name's Judah Buddha. We are the Rotohackers podcast, video podcast. And I am here with It's Jared, still playing him this weekend. I'll probably lose. And we were just talking about how tough it is for us to get excited about football. Do you feel part of it? I feel like is it so weird this year? I thought it was going to be exciting. It hasn't really felt exciting. It's just felt, and it's not even the COVID thing that's really, I guess that's it's just all these injuries and the COVID thing on top of it. What do you think, man? What's going on?
I mean, it's like I just have to lay out the list. Like what's going on is like a scroll that I unroll and then it just drops to the floor and rolls across the room, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, I got laid off at the end of June, at the end of June. And so I've been looking for work since then, and I may have a part-time gig about 20 hours a week starting next week. We'll see. So that would be a relief because pandemic unemployment assistance is ticking down. Going to be running out at the end of the year, and North Carolina's little meager $125 a week doesn't go too far anyway. So so we've got that. I mean, we've had an election. I now feel a little bit better. I feel like 85% sure that we're not going to have a coup in the government. I feel a little bit better now. COVID, I feel a little bit better about COVID now. We've got a vaccine coming eventually that's apparently like 90+% effective, which is better than I hoped for. Yeah, but just too many things between personal life and world events, or personal life affected by world events, before you even get to football. And then once you get to football, then who's going to do well this week? There's just you can count on two hands the number of reliable players I think this year who haven't been injured, or who you don't know if they're going to give you 2 points or 20 points each week. And so it's just it's just tough to get excited. All my teams, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are, in the 5-4, 4-5 range. And so it's just in every way imaginable, just a blech year.
2020. Well, the only consolation I have is that I'm not the only one feeling this way. And so I have noticed a lot more players sort of not really doing much with their lineups. I'm starting to play. I feel like I got all the hard players out of the way, all the really
hard
good
teams.
lineups. Hard teams. Sorry.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Same. I was just looking at all my that's the one saving grace that I've found over the last couple of days, is I was just looking at least for my big money lineups.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And every single one of them, it's at least 4 out of the last 5 teams, I'm playing the bottom teams in the league. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah. And out of any year, I feel like this year, as you said before, could be a good year to get in the playoffs with 7-7, right?
Yeah. Or I feel like every league is going to be you either have to be 10-6 with a massive amount of points, or 7-7. Because I mean, I have leagues where teams 1 through 6 are 6-3. I mean, it's crazy. And then I have leagues where there's a team that's 8-1, at the top of the league, and then teams 2 through 9 are either 5 and 4 or 4 and 5. And so 7 and 7 might get you in the league. So it's going to be, I think it's just going to like vary like crazy league to league.
Well, and what's weird to me is the disparity between my $20 leagues and free leagues and the $100 leagues. I feel like the $100 leagues, which I mean makes sense, that there's a lot more people paying attention, but I feel like I've had a lot worse luck in the higher ones. I can't really explain it.
Well, I started to say I have to. I don't know. I think it's been. It started out like I got off to a better start in the higher dollar leagues, and then my schedule, I guess, maybe got tougher, and then now maybe that I'm coming back around to the first part of the schedule again, it'll go well again. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how it shakes out, but just lots of like 5 and 4 for me.
Yes, me too. The middle of the pack. If I'm not at the bottom, I'm at middle of the pack. Now there's a few that I've started to get to the top, but I don't feel secure at the top.
No,
at all. I'm third and second in a few places. I don't think I'm first anywhere. And I feel like I gotta fight to stay there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We got Drew Vano in the chat already. What's good, fellas? What's good, Drew? And Nathan Anderson says, man, hitting those notes for It's Jared, so impressive. Well, I've been practicing. I gotta reverse the juju somehow, and hopefully the notes will help.
I don't know. I see it didn't get off to a good start for you this week because you had AJ Brown projected for 13.66 points and he turned in 2.6. And I feel that pain in some other leagues. Because I have him in there. But then again, at the same time, I was looking at our league going, okay, well, it's all right. It's all right in that league.
Yeah, well, I was watching the game closely, and he had a couple drops. One in particular, it just was in his hands and just bobbled out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to get down because it's just fantasy. But yeah, be nice.
I'm not going to get down either, because even if I lose, I'll be 5 and 1 against you. So
that's true. You got a lot less to lose. All right, Fish is in the chat, and he says, y'all talking about AJ Brown? Yes, we are. And he gave us a little sad face, breaking my heart, man. Well, I think I have him in 2 leagues, and I played against him in a lot of leagues, which is good. So I played against him and the Titans defense, so I'm not so sad, but we'll see how it plays out. What'd you think of the game? I thought it was kind of disappointing in some ways.
It was a boring game, for it to be what I forget what it finished, like 34-17 or 31, or I don't know. It was a boring game. The Colts are a boring offense. They have a good defense, and they're a boring offense. They spread the ball around a lot, but they don't do it tremendously efficiently. They've got a bunch of running backs that they swap in and out, and they're just not a terribly exciting offense to watch. So, but Michael Pittman would look good. He looks like he might be. I don't know how much he'll do the rest of this year, the way they spread the ball around, but for next year at least, maybe he's looking up.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, whether or not you'd go out and pick him up, because he did seem to be the primary target, at least in this game. But I think isn't Ty coming back next week or something?
Let's see. Ty, wasn't he in there? Yeah, he was. He was in there. He was there. You just didn't notice him. I mean, he had 4 catches for 40 yards. Pittman was really getting open. I think part of the worrisome part of that, though, was like, I think a lot of that, though, was not really like him beating his man so much as just like Titan busted coverage and stuff like that. So I like the fact that they're throwing to him more. I mean, last week against Baltimore, he had 7 targets, ended up with 56 yards. Pretty good. I think in a 12-team league, you could, definitely justify rostering him. But
would you rather have him or Jeffries?
Alshon Jeffrey or
Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah.
I would let me look at the schedule here. I might rather have Jeffrey. I don't know. I mean, it's if he comes back, I mean,
they're kind of the same player, right?
They're similar, and I think Jeffrey might have more touchdown upside. Like maybe he's more of a red zone threat, whereas I think the Colts are like afraid to really let Phillip Rivers throw the ball in the red zone too much. So, with good reason. So I would probably say Jeffrey slightly.
I was surprised, as Pittman was picking up. I was expecting him to get. He's a big guy. I was expecting him to get more red zone targets, touchdowns, what have you.
Yeah.
And they have a terrible kicker, so
the Colts
think they would. Yes.
No. Rodrigo's been awesome.
Oh wait, Rodrigo. Yeah, no, I'm confusing with the Titans.
Titans kicker. Yeah. The Titans kicker, Gostkowski, has missed like half of his field goals this year.
Yeah,
and like he played on the Pats with Vrabel, their coach, and so I remember during the game they pointed out like, is Vrabel just they're like friends, hanging on to him because they're buddies? Like, I mean, I can't think of a kicker who's had a year this bad and has held on this long. Like they usually don't have to get near missing. That many field goals I mean, he's made 12 out of 20. He's made 60%, wow. I mean, they don't usually, terrible. Yeah. And he's also missed 2 extra points. So, I mean, they usually don't have to get anywhere near that to get cut, but I don't know.
Yeah, Fish says it was a boring game. He was playing against the Colts defense, Indiana's defense, so that's not great. Drew has a question. He says, man, I'm in a tough spot with J.K. Dobbins as my RB2 for one more week, but Mark Ingram might be coming back. I know, I feel you, man. I'm a big J.K. Mark Ingram fan, and I've got a lot of them. So who should I pick up? Gallman, Lindsay, or maybe you just guys throw out some other option. What do you think? Now, it's a tough matchup for JK as it is. I wasn't going to play him because I don't know. They're playing the Patriots. That's actually not, it hasn't served out to be a tough one.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Not this year. It hadn't been, but yeah, the trouble is, he's already sharing with Gus Edwards and it looks like Mark Ingram's going to be back. I would pick up Gallman. I think I talked about him some Tuesday night. He's 3 straight games of between 12 to 15 points. 12.7 has been his floor and 14.2 has been, his high. But I mean, for a running back this year, hey, that's great. That's flirting with RB1 numbers there. So, Devonta Freeman is not only
on IR.
Yeah, he's not only out, but he's on IR. Now the Giants do have a bye week in week 11, so he might only miss 2 games instead of 3. So Gallman won't really be any use for you next week. But you don't know that Freeman will be back right after that. And even if not, he's a good plug-in for this week. Philadelphia is fairly tough against the run, but when Freeman got hurt in that game in week 7, Gallman came in and had 34 rushing yards and a touchdown, added a little bit receiving, so he had 13.9 points. So they play him again this week, and then after the bye, he gets a nice matchup with Cincinnati. So, at least, he would be a good plug-in for you this week and, a really nice plug-in in week 12. And, who knows, maybe Devonta Freeman doesn't come back in week 13 and then they got Seattle. So I like Gallman. I've rostered him in several places.
Well, would you play Gallman over Pope?
Yeah, because I don't know what Pope's going to get.
Yeah, he's got a questionable tag. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I don't know what that split's going to look like between Pope, Kelly, and Balaj.
Oh yeah,
So
Balaj. I forgot
Gallman's.
Balaj was in there too.
Yeah, yeah. So Gallman's going to be Gallman's going to be, at least he's going to be the guy. So
yeah, okay. I'm just looking at other possible. So news came out that McKinnon's going to get all the work. Of course, last week they said Hasty was going to get all the work. Is this going to be a Hasty game, or is this going to be a McKinnon game?
yeah, I think probably McKinnon. But
they're playing
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Yeah, and New Orleans is fairly tough against the run. So maybe, I don't know. They're going to have to rely more on, little dump offs and stuff like that, and which, you would think that would maybe favor McKinnon. I don't know. Hasty can catch the ball too, so I don't know, but New Orleans is tough against the run.
How about I do see Homer does not have an injury tag, and I see Homer and DJ Dallas on the waiver wire in a lot of places. Would they pique your interest against or over and against Gallman?
No, not against the Rams. And Homer hasn't really he hasn't been getting that many carries. He did okay last week because he had 3 catches for 64 yards, but you can't really count on him repeating that. I mean, Gallman's just the guy. If there's not someone else out there like a, Duke Johnson or a Gio Bernard, who I would assume are going to be taken at this point. If there's not someone like that who's going to be a fill-in and you can count on being the guy, then, I don't know that there are going to be too many options out there that I would rather go with over Gallman.
Okay. Well, there was news that Chubb was doing better. I think he's playing with a brace or something like that, but they're optimistic that he'll play this week. Emerson, thanks for joining us, Mr. McQueen or Mrs. McQueen. I guess it'd be. Anyways, do I trade Gurley and Ayuk for Chubb? What would you do that? I don't know. That's kind of
I would do it. It's Gurley's done well. I mean, he's done better to have only had 2 games where he's had more than 63 rushing yards. Gurley has done really well because of his red zone carries. I think he's only second to Derrick Henry in red zone carries. So, out of the 9 weeks, there's only been 2 where he's been in single digits. Every other time he's been in double digits. A lot of weeks it hasn't been, monster numbers. It's been around 12 points, but he's, sprinkled in a couple of 20 plus point games. The thing I don't like about Gurley is, his schedule gets tougher from here. He's he's had a fairly cushy schedule most of the season. And then coming back after the bye, he gets New Orleans twice with the Raiders sandwiched in between. Raiders is a fairly nice matchup. Then he gets the Chargers, he gets the Bucks, and the Chiefs. Chubb, if he's healthy, especially for his playoff games, he looks really nice. He's got a couple of tough matchups between now and then, but the 2 playoff weeks, he gets the Giants and the Jets. So I would do that. Would
you be worried at all about his injury, like re-injury or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, but I'm worried about everyone this week.
Right. Yeah. It's not like Gurley is a picture of health himself. So yeah.
Right.
And Ayuk, do you feel like that's kind of a big add-on, if you will, right?
Yeah, but if I was the other guy, like I would have to have something like that to make it, worth, giving up Chubb for Gurley. I don't know, with like Ayuk's been he's been good, I mean, especially the last two games that he's played, his targets have been up, yards have been up, everything's been up. So, yeah, I mean, he's turning into a really nice player as a rookie, or a really nice fantasy asset as a rookie. But yeah, I mean, depending on like your depth at receiver, like if Brandon Ayuk's your number one receiver, then maybe not, but or number two or something. But if he's your 3 or your number 4 wide receiver, I think it's worth it for that upgrade to Chubb.
I agree. I mean, I love Chubb. He's one of my favorite running backs. Just watching him, I do like Gurley too, though. But you're right. The season gets a lot harder for him. So I think this is a really good trade. Do it. I'm not going to play it because it's not worth it. Do it, but it's close.
It's close. Yeah,
it's close. What do you think about Melvin Gordon in Dynasty? Do you value him more in Dynasty? Let's see, more in Dynasty, T. Higgins or Gordon? I'm leaning Higgins. I definitely lean Higgins. I actually, in my Dynasty league, I traded him away for peanuts. I of course it was when all that stuff happened with the I thought he was gonna like miss 3 games. And
yeah, I thought so too. Like it looked like he would have his hearing in the middle of November and then probably get suspended 3 games. His hearing got bumped back to December 14th. So he could get suspended right after that. He could miss like the fantasy. Actually, that might still put him possibly missing the fantasy playoffs, which would be like a Melvin Gordon move.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see if that would be. Let's see if that would just be for. Yeah. That actually would be potentially for weeks 15 and 16. Could still happen then, but there's a chance. I mean, the hearing could get bumped again. So basically, there's a chance it might just not be until next season.
But even then, for Dynasty,
yeah. But just for this season for Gordon, it's not looking great unless Philip Lindsay gets hurt again and Gordon takes over, the lion's share of it. For Dynasty, for sure, T. Higgins for me because
me too.
Gordon is just. It looks like regardless of where he is, he's going to be, splitting carries with someone. It was Austin Eckler in with the Chargers, and with the Broncos, it's Philip Lindsay. T. Higgins is already doing very well as a rookie. AJ Green is almost certainly going to be gone next year. So it's going to be Higgins and Tyler Boyd, who just have one more year of chemistry with Joe Burrow. Higgins kind of gets to grow right along with him. So that's an easy T. Higgins for me. Yeah.
I agree. Daniel Sanchez, thank you everybody. Emerson, Jake, Daniel, these are all new names. Thank you guys for coming. And he says, do I still start DK against the Rams defense? Thanks, guys. I think absolutely. I think he is sort of matchup proof at this point, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you've got to start him. Right. I mean, unless your other options are like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, and
the list kind of ends there, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. So, or maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe if it's like those 3, and then actually Hopkins has had a couple of down games, but
last week was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think DK is just one of those players that you kind of cringe if it's up against a really tough matchup where you would normally bench someone else. I mean, I just don't think you can with him. I mean, he had one bad game against Arizona where they were covering him and just all the balls went to Tyler Lockett. Apart from that, he's been at 12 plus points every week. And apart from, and that's only for 1 week where he had 12, apart from that, in let's see, 6 out of the 8 weeks, he's been at 17 plus points, so you can't bench that.
Now the fear would be that he would get, is it Ramsey is out there?
Jalen Ramsey. Yeah.
That he would get Jalen Ramsey just sort of draped all over him. But as you guys established, he's faster than their fastest guy, Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be more afraid for Lockett, because Jalen Ramsey might be able to shut down Lockett. He's not going to be able to shut down both of them, right? So
yeah. I mean, I think I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can bench him the way he's played.
Yeah, no. All right, so so say play him, and be happy you got him, man. Oh, Allied Rivals saying Rotohackers. Oh, he says Cademan is back. What's up, Cademan? Drew Vano says pick 2: Hollywood Brown, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, or Sterling Shepard. Wow, I just don't know what to think about Antonio Brown. He could be great. He could, last week could have been a fluke, just coming back, knocking off the rust, or he could just be dog caca. I don't have any idea where to put him. Hollywood Brown is kind of hit or miss too. I don't know what to think about that.
Lots of miss there this year. Yeah, I mean, lots of miss there for that whole passing game. Like Mark Andrews, who was reliable last year, has only had a couple of decent game or a couple of good games, really.
Yeah. I saw Lamar quote saying they know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought some trouble in paradise there in Baltimore. Like last year, it was just so easy for that offense. And it is interesting because we talk about this, and you see NFL analysts talk about this, that regardless of what a team is doing, when teams have a whole off season to study what they've done during the season, like it's tough, and so I don't know. I'm surprised that the Ravens haven't done better than what they have, but maybe what they run is just a little more basic or obvious to other teams. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there kind of going forward if they try to change things up.
It could be they have like a real set pattern that's easy to disrupt. And I could see that, even though it seems like they could go anywhere, like Lamar could run, they could pass. But I think there could be just an easy shutdown. Put a spy on Lamar and shut down Andrews, and let everybody play decent defense against their guys, man. I think that could be an easy way to shut them down. And it seems like that's what they've been doing, because you shut down Andrews. It's just been so frustrating. I have Lamar and Andrews in a couple places, and it's just been sad.
Oh yeah,
I'm sad. I almost traded Lamar and Andrews for Breeze and Brandon Cook. Would that have been a decent trade?
Maybe if you needed a wide receiver.
I do. I'm starting Ayuk, and who's the starting wide receiver for not the rookie, but the other guy for Broncos? Is it Patrick or?
Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah, Tim Patrick.
Is it Tim Patrick or the other guy? I can't remember who it is, but Hamilton maybe. I don't know, but I think it is Tim Patrick, and those are my starting wide receivers. So I was really eyeing Brandon. Let's see. Speaking of wide receivers, Allied Rivals, Cademan says Devontae Adams will get a lot of points this week. Hot take.
It's Jacksonville. Could very easily be another massive day.
He says put Alan Lazard in. I think he's playing. Big game against the Jaguars. I actually don't think he's playing. The last report I saw was that he's still very sore. He's not like a re-injury or anything, but he's still very sore, and they're going to be careful with him and not put. And typically the Packers they will err on the side of caution. So I don't expect to see him play this week. Do you? You're saying that, right?
No, I do not, and I don't think we answered. That previous question. Well, no. That previous question, we got kind of sidetracked on.
Yeah.
It was going.
This
Yeah,
one?
that one. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
I would say, Shepard. He had a good game against Philly. That was his first game back. I guess I would roll the dice on Antonio Brown. I think Tom is still going to try to get him involved and force feed him a little bit, because if you don't, I don't know what Antonio Brown's going to do. And so I think he's probably going to try to keep him happy. So I would play those two. I mean, just, Gronk last week didn't have a good game. I don't know how many, if AB's presence is going to affect his targets. We talked about Hollywood. So
Yeah, I agree completely. I'd go with Shepard and roll the dice on Antonio Brown. Where were we? So Drew wants to know Wilson or Allen. Whew. I mean, I feel like Allen's going to have a big game. They're playing somebody not too tough. Who is it they're playing?
they're playing the Cardinals.
Oh, they're playing the Cardinals, which has a pretty decent defense. Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, the thing is about playing the Cardinals will put up a lot of offense, so he's going to have to put points on the board against the Cardinals. Not that where he's not, but
Allen's a little harder to trust.
Yeah,
Cardinals have been kind of middle of the pack. But Allen had 4 straight games of 13 to 18 points. He was averaging around 16 and then blew up against Seattle, which Seattle's a bad team. I would still probably have to go with Wilson because his floor, even though it's a tough matchup, his floor has been better.
Who are they playing again? They're playing
the Rams. The Rams.
That's right. We just talked about that.
Yeah, they've given up the third fewest points to quarterbacks, so it's tough. But
what about Goff? I've got Goff in a couple places. I looked at him at least to pick him up at the wire, to play instead of Mahomes. It seems like it's a peach matchup, but it just feels like the universe is just begging me to play him so that they can laugh at me when he fails.
I'm gonna have to play Goff in a league or two.
Really?
But it is, like you said, it's risky with Goff because he might come away with 11 points. So
would you play Goff or Locke?
That is a tough dilemma. I think I've played Goff some just because I've played Locke in some other leagues and I tried to diversify a little bit. Yeah. I might actually prefer Locke though.
I just feel better about Locke. I don't know why though. I feel they both have great they have great targets. They're playing, not too difficult of a defense. Although Goff does have a better matchup. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Would you play? Oh, well, yeah, I'd definitely play Russell Wilson or Josh Allen over both of those. So let's keep going. Do I trade Gurley for Hunt and Landry? Ooh, I think I'd take that. I think I'd trade. Yeah, with his upcoming schedule, I think Landry's gonna have to step up, and he did last week or the week before last week before they were on bye.
I don't know that Landry adds much to it for me.
No?
The way Hunt played, even when Chubb was in there, you could make an argument for trading Gurley for Hunt.
He actually played better when Chubb was in there, which is weird.
Yeah. I think that's a fair trade. I'm not sure who really wins that. I think that's fair.
I think we could see Landry blow up. I like their schedule going forward, and if it's a PPR, he's gonna get peppered. But I don't know for sure. I still like the trade. I like Hunt. I like that run offense. You've really swayed me as far as Hunt goes. All right, let's see. Full PPR, choose two: Geo Swift, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thanks for being in the chat, Trey. Good to see you. Man, Geo's got a he. I think I'd probably go Brandon Cooks and Swift. What would you do? Kind of feel like Geo has a tough matchup, right? I think he's playing.
He does. It's Pittsburgh, so it's a tough matchup.
Pittsburgh,
I would probably go Cooks and Deontay, because Deontay gets the Bengals.
Oh, that's right. The Bengals, they have like problems in their secondary with COVID. I just saw.
Well, and I mean, Deontay is just getting, normally double-digit targets if he doesn't get hurt. And then Cooks against Cleveland,
Sorry.
Cooks, 3 straight games of 9 targets each game. He's getting 60 plus a game, hitting double digits. And then prior to that, he had a monster 26-point game. So, Swift is a little iffy week to week. You don't know what he's going to get. And then
that's true.
It is a tough matchup for Geo. Normally I like running backs better. But in this case, I'd probably go Deontay and Cooks.
So I was just looking I saw something. There was something about, so it says because of injuries and COVID-19, the Bengals have 3 available cornerbacks for tomorrow's game. That's it. Just 3. They have William Jackson, Mackenzie Alexander, and Tony Brown. And so they could be a little bit weaker on the defense there.
Could be a Big Ben. Could be a
nice and he's back from COVID.
Yeah,
he's fine. So, all right. What about hey Matt Daly? Good to see you. Thanks for being in the chat. Sit one, full PPR. Diggs, Lockett, Woods. Sit one. Lockett, maybe. That'd be tough. He might blow up on your bench, but I think I'd probably sit Lockett or Woods. Which one would you?
I mean, that's an embarrassment of riches there, sort of. So that's a nice problem to have. For me, let's see, sit one. I would sit. I suppose Lockett, because you don't know, I mean, it could be where Jalen Ramsey shuts down DK and like that Arizona game, Lockett gets all the targets. But I think you can just count on Diggs and McLaurin to get the targets, and to a certain extent Woods, because it's a friendly matchup. So
very friendly.
Yeah, maybe Lockett.
It's going to be hard though. I mean, you're right. Yeah. He could easily blow up. Although the Rams, it's not just Ramsey, right? Like their whole defense is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean they have, they got Aaron Donald, so that's a good, it's a good foundation for your defense. So it's not just him.
Matt Daly back with another question: should I start Darrell Henderson or Lindsey over Swift and Jacobs this week, considering the matchups? Swift facing Washington, Jacobs facing Denver. I don't know that I would play Lindsey over Jacobs. I probably would play Henderson over Swift. What do you think?
Same. Yeah. I mean, the volume there, I just couldn't bench Jacobs, but I would play Henderson over Swift.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Emerson would sit Woods. Interesting. It's hard to sit any wide receiver against
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Everybody blows up against Seattle. Let's see. Oh, Jonathan Buster, the antagonist, is in the chat, says hello. And did he when even when I beat him, he was sending me little like the little Yahoo message? Did he send you any of the Yahoo messages after he beat you?
No, I figured he'd show up Tuesday night, but it's okay. I'm still in first place. It's okay.
Eric Courier is in the chat. He's the one that I was thinking about trading with. He said, you should have taken that trade, Judo, when I was talking about getting Breeze. But I don't know. I think actually, Eric, I think you're the one who beat you. You canceled it when I threw Breeze in there. I think he wanted. Who's the running back for the Patriots?
Harris,
yeah.
Okay.
He wanted Harris, and I don't know, Harris and Mark Andrews a little too much for me to give up for Cooks.
Yeah.
I don't know. But thanks for watching, Eric, and send me another trade request. I'll take a look at it. Do I start Mark Andrews or Dallas Goedert? Ooh, that's tough, but I think I'm going Dallas Goedert until Andrews shows me that offense is not broken. I think I'm going with Goddard. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wish Goddard had inspired confidence a little bit better last week, but Wentz, they love, Philadelphia loves their tight ends. Goddard's easily the guy. I mean, he was the guy even with Ertz in there from what we saw, but I think I'd go Goddard.
Yeah, I think I would too. Although I feel like it very easily to go back to talking about the Ravens offense. Their schedule's getting better. It could easily switch here for the end of the season. You could see a big switch where they get a lot better. But that's a real big could be. Evie says, hi, Mr. Judah. Hi, Evie. Tell her hi for me, John. You rascally rabbit. Let's see. Kyle Christian says, okay. Oh, by the way, thanks for Kyle and Irvin for being in the chat and for checking us out. The end. Is that, how would you say that? The end.
Yeah.
It says, would you do Ballage or Pope? Oh man. Pope seems to be a little banged up. It may be a Ballage. It may, you know what? This may be a big Josh. What's his name? Josh
Kelly.
Yeah, Josh Kelly game. I was thinking about putting Josh Kelly in, but he just doesn't seem to get it going. Doesn't seem to be very good.
He doesn't. It started out, pretty well. It's funny, these rookie running backs. Some of them started out pretty well. Jonathan Taylor, CEH, Josh Kelly, and then they've just kind of crashed.
Well, what do you think? What do you attribute that to? Because we thought the opposite was going to happen, right? We thought that they were going to start off in a difficult situation without having boots on the ground without having played in pads. But I don't know. Maybe they just got a lot of play at first, and the coach is like, "Oh, we made a mistake."
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure if it's just a learning curve or what.
Mm-hmm. Would you go with Ballage or Pope if you get into your head?
Probably. It is hard. I mean, there's just no way to know. I'll say Pope.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with Pope. Got to go with the Pope, to the, is that sacrilege? Sorry. Jared Cook or Tanyan, full PPR. It's hard to trust either of these. Tanyan, he is a decent target there, and it could be a really good matchup. But, and then Jared Cook, you've got Michael, what's his name? Michael.
Yeah, I can't remember. Are you talking about the other tight end or the wide receiver?
No, the wide receiver.
Michael
Michael
Thomas.
Thomas. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, you got Michael Thomas there, who is back and getting a lot of the targets and stuff. Probably Tanyan, right?
I would still say Cook. I mean,
Yeah.
since Devontae Adams has come back, Tanyan hasn't done much.
No.
It's a nice matchup, but I would say Cook.
Okay, let's see. Allied Rivals says Tanyan. I think you're right though. Cook is a pretty decent target for that offense.
They like him, you know. I mean, he gets touchdowns too, you know.
Yeah. All right, that was mostly for next week since they play versus the Jets. What was that in? Oh, for Ballage or Pope, they're gonna be playing the Jets next week. I don't know. Okay, it's still not. It's a matter of neither of them are very good. Ballard or Pope are not very good.
Yeah, and I mean Justin Jackson may be back next week. Austin Eckler could be back next week. Who knows? So that's.
Oh, did you see the video?
I heard about it. I didn't see it, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he looks great. And he said in Twitter, was it in Twitter? He said, for all the people that didn't drop me, it's almost time to go or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was running pretty well. Nice. I haven't dropped you yet, Eckler. I haven't dropped you yet.
Me neither.
You're in my IR spot. Why would I drop you? Well, because there's a lot of IR people, I guess. Kyle says, traded Lockett for Mixon, Geo, and Devontae. Wow, you got a haul for Lockett. Devontae. Well, okay. At first, I guess I thought it was Devontae Adams. Devontae Parker, as well as Waller for James Robinson, Fant, and Hunter Henry. Yeah, you need RBs. And I don't know if Mixon is. I don't know when he's coming back, but you got Geo. This was in reference probably to. Oh, I guess I missed this one. Traded Waller for James Robinson, Fant. Hunter Henry, your thoughts?
I mean, if you need, it's always tough for me to give up a good tight end. But depending on how desperate you are at running back.
Well, he got Fant back too. Fant's not too bad.
He's not, but he's not producing a whole lot right now. Yeah, if you needed running backs, I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, but you know.
Well, we know he's got Mixon, Geo, Devontae Parker. Looks like you need wide receivers. I don't know who are your wide receivers, but yeah, I think it's a good trade. Yeah. You like Robinson, right? I mean, you were the first to sort of you picked him up everywhere. I saw you pick him up. I was like, I didn't have any hope for him.
Yeah, he's been a lot more profitable than I expected. I hate that week 15 matchup with Baltimore, but he's been, I mean, you know, he's been very reliable in a year where it's been hard to find reliable running backs.
Yeah. And like double-digit reliable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we should probably wrap things up. Looks like you're about to fall asleep.
I'm not feeling great. I'm just, like I'm not falling asleep, but yeah, I'm just trying to like.
Oh, you got a little sickness action?
Actually, like a little bit. Like, hopefully, I'm not just like getting hit with COVID, because I was like having a little trouble breathing there for a second. So I like leaned back to kind of that's helped a little bit. But it was, I don't know. It was, I think maybe, I don't know. Maybe I've got some congestion and like doing so much talking.
Yeah.
You know, like my oxygen dipped a little bit or something.
Have you lost your sense of smell or anything?
No. And so hopefully not that. I'm not saying it is that. You know, it's, I mean, we're now into mid-November, and you know the weather's turning colder, and it could just be like, you know, general like congestion or a little touch of something, mucus that's gotten in my lungs or something there. But like, yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to lean back a little bit here because I got kind of dizzy for a second there.
Yeah, dude.
And that's why I wasn't. That's why my answer started getting a little bit shorter. Where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like try to not. I'm gonna try to breathe,
not pass
more,
out.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, we'll let you go, man. And well, we got one more. You got energy for one more?
Sure.
Yeah. Andrew McGrady. Thanks for joining us, brother. We're gonna peace out here. But is Gio Bernard a must start even against? We talked a little bit about this. I think I would. He says he's got Sanders and Fournette. I would play both of those over Gio. What about you?
I don't know. I don't know what Fournette.
Sanders is.
I don't know what Fort. Well, I guess they do get Carolina again, and they kind of ran all over Carolina the first time.
Yeah.
I think it's a more of a dice roll. I think Gio might have the safer floor. Because Fournette you never know what Bruce Arians is going to do. He could not get touches, but Fournette tore up Carolina the first time. I would play Fournette. I would actually probably then go Gio and then Sanders.
Really? Why are you so down on Sanders? Is the matchup?
I'm not that. No, it's
who is it? Who do they got?
Is it Panthers or no? Who is it? 49ers.
I'm looking it up now. Oh, Browns. Yeah, that is kind of a difficult matchup.
Wait, no. Sanders is let's see.
11-22. Oh wait, no. I'm way too ahead.
I think it's the 49ers.
No, that's Saints.
Yeah, Sanders is on the Saints. Are we talking about Emmanuel Sanders?
Oh no. I'm thinking he's talking about running back. So he's got to be talking about
No, he says he's E. Sanders. I think I think he's probably talking flex.
Oh, yeah. I definitely wouldn't play E. Sanders. Yeah. No, I would Emmanuel. No, I'm sorry. I missed that. That was my fault. I'd play Fournette or Gio. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. What about Sanders? How you feeling about Sanders coming back? What's his first name?
Emmanuel.
No, the other Sanders that I was talking about earlier for the
Miles
Sanders. How you feeling about Miles Sanders? I know you have a lot of Miles Sanders.
I do. I feel good. I mean, in a year of not much at running back, when he's been healthy, he's broken off some big runs against good defenses. So I'm happy to have him back.
Yeah. Okay. So he says it's Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, he could have a big game, but Michael Thomas being back and stuff, I'd stick with the running backs. One of them. Hard to tell which one, but all right, that should do it. Tune in again we're going to do a lot more start 'em sit-ems, but focus on the waiver wire Tuesday night and talk about the games. Join our let me get the link up, but if you want to ask more questions, I think me and AJ are the only ones on it. Jared might get on it, but our Discord is been blowing up lately. If you want to join us there, where's that Discord?
We did get one last question there. Ebron or Hooper? You want to take that one first? Ebron or Hooper?
Ebron or Hooper? Where's the question? I didn't see that.
Just came in from Liam.
Oh yeah, the last one. Oh, hey Liam. Ebron or Hooper? I'm going Hooper. I think Hooper's gonna have a good game.
I think they're both. It's both nice matchups for both of them. I might lean Ebron. He's had 2 straight games with a touchdown. Cincinnati's given up second most to tight ends, but I like both of them.
Really,
Hooper's in a good matchup too against the Texans, who have given up the 10th most. And OBJ, this is, I think, his first game back, since OBJ went down, and
yeah,
he could potentially. I think he'll start getting more targets. He was starting to come on already.
Yeah, before he got hurt and before their bye, I think or maybe it was right before their bye. They were doing, they were going to him a lot. Okay, well, I put the Liam says coin flip, I guess. Yeah, I think it's sort of a wash. Who is who? I gotta check and see who Ebron is playing. Who's Ebron playing? Do you
Cincinnati.
know?
Cincinnati.
Oh, he's playing. Oh, they're playing. Okay, Cincinnati. Yeah, maybe I would go with that matchup. Actually, yeah. The only thing is about the Browns is who's there. There really isn't a lot of targets as far as receivers. Hooper might be his primary target for red zone. I don't know.
Yeah, they're both good matchups. I can easily get on board with Austin Hooper being, if someone wants to play him over Ebron.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna take off. We're gonna take a leisure Saturday to rest up and face the universe. So,
one thing I can't remember if we talked about it or mentioned it, and sorry, we don't really have much of a chance to get into potential trade targets, but tonight is the trade deadline. So for pro leagues or for standard leagues,
just standard in general,
not standard as in standard scoring format, but as in default
standard settings,
Yahoo leagues, public leagues. It should be midnight. I think midnight Pacific. So I think it's 3 a.m. Eastern. So you got some time to throw out some offers. It's kind of tough because there's a limited number of, normally I'm trying to find a team that needs a running back or a team that needs a wide receiver and trade some of my surplus at one of those positions. But, there's no surplus at running back this year. So unless you just happen to find a team that's loaded with them and needs a receiver or a quarterback or something, you have to kind of get creative.
I went through, in that league that we're in, I really need a good running back. And I went through looking for, I didn't even know it was the trade deadline. And this weekend I went through, or yesterday, looking for a good running back. And I was like, where are all the running backs? I think you have two of the only good ones out there. And I didn't want to trade with you because, we're facing each other. And I think you have, you have Gurley and
Jacob. Let's see. I have Gurley.
Jacobs.
Maybe I have Gurley. I have Jacobs. Gurley's on bye this week, so I'm throwing.
But I'm just saying, just to trade for,
Yeah, and then I've got Eckler on IR, and I'm hoping he's going to come back. So,
yeah. So I was going team to team to team, and usually I don't trade with people on top.
Yep, same.
And there's just no running backs out there that I wanted.
No, that's exactly what I did too. It's a wasteland, and there's only so much you can do. I think we're just gonna have to cobble it together for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I do think. Yeah, and then I saw this too. Chubb is definitely going to play this week.
Yeah,
just that came over the wire. So trade for Chubb. I bet you there's people out there. Chubb or Hunt. Actually, Hunt. I just traded him for Herbert, which I think I already had some running backs in that group, but Hunt's going to get better with Chubb coming back. It could be, at least. He's not going to do worse.
Right.
So there may be some people out there that think, oh no, Chubb's coming back. Maybe Hunt's not a great option. Also, maybe trade for Davis too, because we don't know what's going on with CMC. He's not playing this week. Davis could continue to have some pretty good fantasy value going forward. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, everybody. Well, that does it. We're going to say goodbye, and hope you guys are healthy and do what you can to do good to yourself. Protect yourself. We'll talk to you guys later.
Good luck tomorrow.